There is a silent strength that comes not from domination, but from understanding. A strength that emerges not in the noise of conflict, but in the stillness of self-awareness. In a world that constantly provokes our emotions, learning to master the art of not reacting is the highest form of wisdom. This video is not just about managing anger, it is about reclaiming the peace that is inherently yours. Through stories, reflective insights, and ancient wisdom, we will walk together through the path of emotional transformation. Let this be your sanctuary, a space where healing begins, and your deeper self awakens. You will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. This timeless teaching reminds us that anger is not an external punishment but an internal storm. Many of us have known the heat of that fire, the sting of words we regret, the pain of relationships burned by our temper, the sleepless nights filled with thoughts we couldn't shake off. But what if we could see anger not as a curse, but as a signal? What if, beneath the flames, there was a message, a chance to understand ourselves more deeply? In this chapter, we unravel the layers of anger. We examine its roots, unmet expectations, wounded pride, unhealed memories, and we begin the work of healing not by resisting anger, but by listening to it. True strength is not in suppression but in awareness. Between stimulus and response lies a sacred pause, a space where you are no longer a slave to your instincts. In that pause lives your power. When someone offends you, when a moment triggers you, you have two choices: react unconsciously or respond with wisdom. Here, we learn the practice of intentional breathing, the power of grounding ourselves before words are spoken or actions are taken. With each pause, you stretch time, you reclaim your narrative, and you cultivate the peace that cannot be disturbed by the chaos of others. What if that rude stranger wasn't trying to hurt you, but was hurting inside? What if your coworker's sharp tone masked deep fear or insecurity? When we stop assuming the worst in others, we open ourselves to a new kind of clarity, one where compassion disarms our anger. This chapter invites you to see conflict differently. Instead of taking things personally, we learn to perceive pain behind aggression, stories behind behavior, and fear behind control. Compassion is not weakness, it is an active form of courage that softens the hardest of moments. Much of our frustration stems from expectations that life should unfold according to our script. We expect others to be kind, plans to go smoothly, and the world to treat us fairly. But reality often dances to its own rhythm. Here, we explore the liberation that comes from letting go, not of standards, but of rigidity. Flexibility becomes your strength. When you expect less and accept more, you make room for joy, gratitude, and serenity to bloom. You free yourself from the prison of disappointment. Judgment says, "You are wrong." Empathy whispers, "I want to understand you." Anger narrows our view, but empathy expands it. In this part, we delve into the practice of seeing the world through someone else's eyes. We share real stories, everyday moments where empathy dissolves tension. You'll learn how listening deeply, asking sincerely, and softening internally can transform even the most difficult interactions. Empathy doesn't mean agreement, it means recognition. And in recognition, healing begins. Self-control is not about bottling up your emotions. It is about being the calm eye of the storm. Here, we explore tools for emotional regulation, mindfulness, inner dialogue, and boundary setting. You'll learn how to recognize your triggers before they explode, how to set clear lines with others without aggression, and how to become your own anchor when life tries to throw you off course. Mastery comes not when nothing shakes you, but when you know how to return to center again and again. No one can steal your peace unless you hand them the key. This truth is both a challenge and a liberation. When you stop waiting for others to behave better so you can feel better, you take your power back. We guide you through practices that build inner resilience, cultivating mindfulness, protecting your energy, and choosing your emotional state rather than inheriting it from others. With consistency, peace becomes not a goal, but a way of being. To forgive is to set yourself free. Holding on to anger is like carrying a burning coal, hoping it hurts someone else while it's only scarring your hands. In this section, we offer reflections on letting go, not for their sake, but for yours. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is remembering without hate. It is the decision to release resentment and reclaim your joy. Whether it's forgiving someone else or forgiving yourself, each act of letting go brings you closer to the healing you deserve. When you are grateful, anger has no space to grow. Gratitude is the spotlight that highlights all that is still good, still working, still beautiful in your life. Even in pain, there is something to be grateful for. We'll walk through simple daily practices, gratitude journaling, appreciation rituals, and mindful reflection that can shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right. In gratitude, we rediscover abundance. In abundance, we rediscover peace. Anger often emerges from the ego's need to win, to be right, to have the last word. But what if peace is more valuable than victory? What if understanding is more nourishing than proving a point? This chapter invites you to soften. To listen more than you speak. To connect more than you correct. You'll learn the art of letting go of arguments, and choosing relationships over being right. Because in the end, the one who chooses peace always wins. As we end this journey, remember, anger is not your enemy. It is your teacher. And peace is not a destination. It is your nature. Every moment is an invitation, to react or to reflect, to hurt or to heal, to inflame or to transform. You have always had the strength to choose differently. Now, you have the wisdom to do so. Thank you for walking this path with us. May your heart grow lighter. May your days grow gentler. And may you always return home, to the quiet power within you.